What's up, guys? The Snowman here, back with another soccer football informational video. The UEFA European Women's Championships right around the corner, so I figured it'd be a good time to explain the format of this event. Other than the FIFA World Cup, this is probably the best and the biggest women's international football tournament. So what we're going to do today is go over exactly what the Women's Euros are. We're going to talk about the schedule, the format, the group stage, knockout stage, everything to get you set for the Euros. So what is the UEFA European Women's Championship? This is the main competition of women's football among national teams of the UEFA Confederation. So said another way, it's the top international tournament for European women's teams. It's a very similar setup to the men's Euros. The first official Women's Euros run by UEFA was back in 1984, and for the first decade and a half, this was an event that took place every 2 years. However, since 1997, it occurs once every 4 years, so we have it in 2025, with the subsequent tournaments being in 2029, 33, 37, etc. The Women's Euros on their own cycle as the other major international tournaments. So basically, we get the Men's FIFA World Cup one summer, the next summer the FIFA Women's World Cup, after that is the Men's Euros, then the Women's Euros, and then the 4-year cycle repeats itself. So there's always some sort of big tournament happening in the summertime. This event about a month long. It typically takes place in June or July. In terms of the number of teams that compete at the Women's Euros, that number currently 16 nations for the final tournament. It did start out as just a 4-team event back in the 1980s, but over the years it's increased from 4 to 8 to 12 to 16, and it wouldn't shock me at all if this number shot up to, say, 24 teams at some point in the next 8 to 12 years like we see presently with the men's Euros. In terms of qualification, I won't go too deep into the specifics here, but just know that over the prior year plus leading up to the women's Euros, all 51 UEFA nations are put into groups, and the top performing sides make it to the final event. This is a very similar process to the men's and women's World Cups. There's typically 15 slots up for grabs each time, since the host nation qualifies for the tournament automatically. For example, 2025 Euro host nation Switzerland had their ticket to the big dance secured long before the actual qualification process began. Once we have our final 16 teams, then the real fun begins. UEFA conducts a draw where our pool of nations is drawn into 4 groups of 4 teams each. This is an example of the 4 groups in 2025. UEFA ranks all 16 teams by their coefficient, or how well they've performed in recent times, and then randomly forms 4 groups from that. Once the groups are made and the actual tournament begins, we have a group stage plus a knockout stage to determine our champion. For the group stage, each nation plays the other 3 teams in their group once for a total of 3 games. Every team guaranteed to play at least 3 matches at the Euros. Teams were awarded 3 points for each win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points if they suffered defeat. Once all 16 teams have played their 3 group stage games, we tally up the points, and the top 2 nations from each group advance to our 8-team knockout stage. And the way it works is if you win a group, then you're guaranteed to play a group runner-up in the quarterfinals. Our 4 group winners are each paired up against our 4 group runners-up, and then the knockout stage takes us home. This is how it looked at the 2022 Women's Euros hosted by England. This is an 8-team single elimination knockout bracket, so if you lose once from here on out, you are eliminated. Also in the knockout stage, we now play extra time if the score is tied after 90 minutes, and if it's still level past extra time, we go to a penalty shootout. In this particular edition of the tournament, we had 4 tightly contested quarterfinals, with the winners advancing to the semifinals. From there, it was Germany and England moving on to the final in London, where England prevailed deep into extra time to become the champions. Knockout football at these big events will always be my favorite sport to watch. It's the highest form of drama, in my opinion. And finally, just a quick look at the total winners table in Women's Euro history. There's been 13 total editions played as of 2025, and as you can see, Germany, the overwhelming powerhouse in women's football. 8 times European champions are the Germans. In fact, they won 6 consecutive Euro titles from 1995 to 2013. I was literally born and graduated from college before another side won. Norway also with a couple of trophies, and then Sweden, England, and the Netherlands, your other winners in tournament history. It's a tremendous event filled with top-notch talent, and I can't wait to see what 2025 brings us in Switzerland. Thanks a lot for watching my UEFA Women's Euros Explained video. Please leave a comment and ask any questions if I left anything out. If you enjoyed the video, though, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media. Give me a thumbs up for more soccer and football content. Cheers!